Okay, so in this next part, we're going to be talking about different attributes that we can change to our type. And I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in on ZooTails here. And actually, before we do that, let's go down to Safari Zoo. And I'm going to have you select the text. So go ahead and select the text. And up here on your operations panel, you go ahead and select 36. Now you can see that it's not fitting in there because we don't, because it's a point type application right now, which we can certainly change. But I just wanted you to see how that looks. So it's just going to wrap horizontally there. But what we're going to do also is you can also, if the options on the type size aren't what you want, you can always go in there and highlight them and change it accordingly. So we're just going to put 37 point in there. And then what we can do is we can just auto size this like we did earlier. And we're going to go ahead and let's just change that fill right now to a white and bring the Safari Zoo into the sign here for now. So, okay, and then we're going to go up here and we're going to go to ZooTails. And again, with your selection tool, we're going to select that. And what you're going to do is you are going to give it a point size of 74. And then you'll notice that it doesn't fit into the artboard. So let's zoom out here and make sure that 74 is right. Okay, that's going to be pretty big here. And let's just resize accordingly, bring it up in here. And then I want you to change the fill to white. And you'll notice that we don't have a stroke on here. So we're going to go ahead and give it a black stroke. And we're going to change that to a 3. Okay. So again, I can go back to ZooTails and I'm going to just go ahead and change the fill to black and the stroke to white. Now, of course, because we just see our artboard, you're not going to see the white stroke. If I were to turn on the background, you'll see that the white stroke is showing up. But we'll just leave those off for now. The other thing with in Safari Zoo, again, if you remember, you can go ahead and you can resize this box, and we're just going to change that point size type to a 17, I believe, or 33. I'm sorry, let's see, it's a 37 right now. So let's change that to a 33. And then we want to go over to Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. We're just going to go, and then we're going to go ahead and look in the character. So now that I have that selected, if you go up here to the character panel, you'll see a number of different options come up here. And you have a lot of different attributes that you can change and modify with the text. For example, you have the touch type tool here. This is where your font family is. This would be your font style. This would be the size of your font. And then this would be, sets the kerning between two characters. Okay, whereas this one sets a tracking. It's very similar to kerning, but it sets it with a whole line of type. And this option here is the leading in between your lines. And you can also, even though we're at, let's say, a 12-point type here, we can actually change the size of that by typing in 120%. And what it'll actually do then is actually increase the size of your fonts by 20%. Now you have to be careful when you do this because, you know, generally type is made for, you know, its best attributes is the size that they give it. So you don't want it to look out of proportion and change that value too much. And we're going to go ahead and another thing too is in here you can actually do all caps, etc. So you also have a drop-down menu for the type tool here as well. So the vertical scale is typed in at 120. That's good. Let's go back to Safari Zoo. And what I want you to do is bring the character panel back up again. And then in the leading, we are going to type in a 17. And then in the tracking, which is over here, we're going to select a -50. And we're going to go to uppercase type. And that's good for right now. And then one last thing, let's go back to Thursdays, and we're going to go back into the character. And what we're going to do is we're going to go Garamond Pro, or Garamond, and then we're going to select Italic. And should be good right there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and view the background now so we can take a look at the ZooTales white stroke here. And what we're going to do next, this is a lot of fun here, you have what you call the touch type tool, and it's also located down here at the bottom of your text panel. And what we're going to do, which is really a lot of fun, is you can actually select your letters and rotate them and do various operations to have some fun with what you do with your text. Okay, so we're going to make the zoo just a little bit bigger, and you see how I just have the zoo selected, so it's just changing the size of this. And then I'm going to select this, the next letter here, and if you hover over, you'll see that you can also change the slant of the type as well. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of play around, bring it in, do a little slant, and you can also move them in and make the T taller. And again, you can do it out of proportion, etc. And then we're going to go ahead and leave the tails, right? But let's bring that up a bit, bring it up a bit, and so on and so forth. And the thing is, you remember, you can you're working with one at a time here. And you can also go back and set them up to align vertically and horizontally if you need to later. And then we go ahead and we're going to go ahead and select the ZooTales, the whole thing, and realize that you can still change the text of the font family. And we'll just go to perpetual tilting, and you can choose whatever text you want, but it's nice to know that even after you do these changes, you still have the options to go back and change the characteristics of the type. Okay, so we're going to go into this text box here, and we're going to change the fill color to white. But you notice it just changed it in this box. It didn't change it up here. We would have to have that box selected in order to do that. But what we're going to have you do next is we are going to have you select the Thursday, and then I'm going to hold down the Shift key and select this type here. And remember, as I talked about, you can do aligning shifts with the selected type. So the first thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to go to the paragraph panel, okay? And okay, so go back to the paragraph panel here. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in 11 points in space after paragraph. And then we're going to hit return. And this will maintain consistency for editing later. And then with the selection tool, we're going to select the Safari Zoo. And then we're going to shift click with Thursdays. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the paragraph panel. And we're going to go to the paragraph panel, and we're going to center align. And we're going to center that, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and close the paragraph group for now. And so now we're going to go back over here to the Animal Zoo welcomes. What you want, we're going to go ahead and bring this in to the left side of the board here. And we want to bring it down to the last sentence saying special thanks to our Zoo Circle members. And we'll go ahead and we're going to go then back up to here, and we're going to be working with this text right here. And okay, sorry, there was a pause in there, so if I'm repeating things, sorry. What we're going to do next is we're going to actually get rid of, we're going to actually not get rid of it, but we're going to go over here and we're going to bring this text back down here, okay? And then we're going to get rid of this path there. And what we want to do with this text then is we're going to go ahead and select it again. And I want to get rid of that. So we'll just go and delete it. And get back up here. Okay, and we would just want to get rid of that. And so then what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this back up, and like you saw before with the overflow text, the overflow text will show up over here on the right. And you'll see right now that I have the overflow text in here. And basically I just want to bring that text over and on its own though, and showing you how you can bring it back over here. And I'm going to double click the anchor points here. And you'll notice now that I can actually change the alignment of this text. Then I'm going to go ahead and select it, and we're going to change the font size here back up to a 14. And you'll notice it's just changing it in this box here. And now let's go ahead and bring these over here so we can see what we got going here. And you can see that we're going to have to resize just a tad. Maybe bring it down back to 12 point here. Let's do a 13. And again, now I can actually take that type and fit it into a shape. So it's kind of a cool procedure as well. Okay, so this is the end of part 2, and we will be moving on to applying text styles to our characters.